Welcome to the continuation of Reign 4. This is going to be Sib's second challenger that he must face off against. He got lucky in his first challenger, got up against Ludihose. Clearly was not a very challenging series for him, but I don't know if that's going to be true a second time. We have Jesulin going for the Star-Crossed King throne for the third time. Beat 1-2 by Captain Price in his first attempt in Star-Crossed Kings, and we had some very close games during that series. Game 2 of that series, Jesulin was up 1-0, and in Game 2, Jesulin lost against Captain Price by 2 victory points. 2 victory points. I don't think I've ever cast a closer game in a competitive tournament setting. I think I can accurately say that was the closest game I've ever cast in a tournament. So, Jesulin came within just a hair from claiming the throne during that game, but couldn't quite make it happen. Then he made a second attempt against OMG Pop. OMG Pop 2-0'd him, but if we're being completely honest and fair, OMG Pop 2-0'd a lot of people. Our most prolific and terrifying king. Truly a tyrant. His reign was, he ruled with an iron fist for 10 whole challengers before stepping down from the throne. He was never defeated in a series. He simply forfeit. So no shame in losing to OMG Pop by any means. And now we're going to see him make another grab for the throne, trying to pry it from Jesulin, or from Sib's cold, dead hands, if he can do so. We're going to see a 2 Grenadier into MG42 opening from Sib. Jesulin playing as Soviets here in Game 1. 3 conscripts. If we look at loadouts, we've got shock rifle, mechanized support, and guard motor coordination.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
And a couple squads making their way over here. Try and take helping Hans versus Sib. Hans, I think, would be fun, but because of his time zone, I don't think that he can participate in, I don't think he can participate in this tournament. I don't think he's awake at the time that this tournament takes place, which is unfortunate, but, I mean, I don't think there's really anything I can do about that. And it's not just because I can't really accommodate Hans' time zone, it's also because all of the people who could reasonably challenge Hans cannot accommodate his time zone either, so he's gonna struggle to participate in competition, I think. But I mean, that's definitely a matchup I think everybody, including myself, would love to see. Oh well.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Conscripts trying to work the flanks a little bit, working the center a little bit. These 2 Grenadiers moving in a pair to make sure that they never get caught outnumbered. They're going to throw up a bunker here on the center victory point. Grenadiers making their way to the left side, take control of the munitions point. MG42 actually went solo to the right side VP.
The enemy is taking our territory. We're dying here! We have contact! We are attacking! Fire!
Taking up a position behind this branch. I like how this ankle-high log is yellow cover.
Hold the line! Engineer losses!
And there's the M3 from Jesulin. He loves going tier 1 to that quick flamethrower M3, being very aggressive with it, trying to catch his opponent before he's ready. That MG42 will be forced to retreat over there on the right side. No, not that many lucky crits. He does deal a lot of health, HP damage to that MG42 though, and since we obviously this early in the game are not going to have a medic bunker anywhere on the field, plus 60 munitions thrown onto that MG bunker right there. It's not going to be easy to get that healed, at least not anytime soon. Panzerfaust connects with the M3. I think it should be able to get away safely. These Grenadiers are kind of chasing it, but if it keeps reversing, it should be able to survive this. conscripts also moving up to screen and support those grenadiers, which are still chasing. Flamethrowers leave the vehicle, and will actually convince those grenadiers to retreat. So we actually overextended a little bit. Being forced to retreat all the way back to base is going to lose a little bit of map presence there. Having that squad off the field for quite some time. Since this map is so large, you definitely need to be careful about retreating and overextending, because it takes a very long time to get back on the field if you do retreat. Conscripts move to engage some Grens. MG42's back on the field, setting up in green cover right here. Your conscripts will need to be careful about taking this avenue of attack. And there's a sniper from Jesulin. Going straight from M3 to sniper. No penal battalions for him. Not that surprised by that. I don't think I've ever seen Jesulin field a penal battalion, so. There's a half-track from Sib, who's gone to tier 2, reasonable amount of time. 3 Grenadiers, MG42, tier 2 into half-track. Pretty early, semi-early tier 2 against Soviets. You don't have to get it that quick, but he's going to do it for the benefit of this forward reinforce point, which on Minsk Pocket is a very powerful thing to have. And then back down to tier 1 units, making himself some second MG42. Although he may find himself countered a little bit by this sniper going with that second team weapon. I'm curious to see how this sniper's going to perform. He does have a half-track on the field. If he decides to also go scout car, that's going to be a pretty significant investment into light vehicles. 45 fuel worth. Something to consider. Jesulin has chosen his commander. Mechanized support. You may consider fielding some guards. If he fields guards, he will have a pretty significant amount of protection from his opponent's light vehicles. And there they are, first squad of guards on the field as soon as he hits 2 command points. Not gonna float manpower like we've seen him do sometimes in the past, because he's just dropped quite a significant amount on that Soviet sniper. And the Soviet sniper received a nerf this patch, so I wonder if we'll see a significant change in its survivability this game. It can no longer sprint. MG42 moving up over here on the right side. Panzerfaust connects with these 2 squads. The fact that there's a half-track right here reinforcing those grenadiers means that that M3 is dead. Jesulin's not even going to try and get that to safety. These 2 squads were forced to retreat. Sniper is continuing to take shots at these grenadiers, trying to maintain a safe distance. It's only got 3 kills so far though, so still has quite a ways to go before it pays for itself. Guards moving up to support here are upgrading with DP machine guns, and they will of course have the PTRS as well. PTRS focusing on the half-track, bringing that down to about half. That's going to be a useful tool for screening that half-track away. Sniper continuing to take shots from range. MG42 has moved up over here from the center though. Second MG42 moving up to support as well, trying to put pressure on these infantry and make that sniper pick targets. There's only so much he can do solo. He has a lot of enemy infantry to chew through. And he's just one man. Well, 2 men. 2 women. 2 strong, independent women that are just as capable as men in the battlefield. And it looks like Jesulin is falling behind in all engagements. That forward half-track is just very difficult for Soviets to deal with. We've seen this over and over again this tournament, by the way. That quick half-track providing a reinforced point for Grenadiers. The question is whether the manpower bleed is sustainable over the course of the game. Because you see a lot of Grenadiers dropping, and because they simply refuse to retreat and keep reinforcing, reinforce all game long, it becomes very costly to maintain, especially if there's a sniper in the back just picking off models one by one. But they will vet up quite quickly as well. He's already got 2 stars of vet on 2 separate squads. Jesulin, by comparison, most he's got on any squad is 1 star of vet, although his sniper will make it up to 9 kills now, getting vet 1, giving it access to the flare. Guards in green cover doing what they can against those grenadiers. PTRSs can't seem to get in range safely on the half-track itself, and if they try and close the distance, these MG42s are going to screen them away. So they have to be very careful. We're looking at model losses so far. It's dead even. 29 to 30. They're basically neither one of them can pull ahead, but Sib has huge map control advantage here. Very lethal game so far, by the way, as well. 11 minutes in, and we're already at 5 command points for both players. And Jesulin actually already is looking like he's probably going to get the fuel he needs for an ISU 152. It's still, you know, quite a ways away from 12 CPs. But once that hits the field, it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem no matter what stage of the game it is. Sib's got Mechanized Assault, Lightning Warrant, Spearheads, so he's got access to Tigers in all of his commanders and some various other nice utilities. If he starts spamming Stug-E's right now that he has a significant map control advantage and really boxes his opponent in OMG Pop style, he may be able to shut down Jesulin's economy enough to prevent an ISU 152 from arriving in time. It may even be too late though. It's only 3 minutes away just on Jesulin's current income. He would have to take all sectors on the map. I don't know though, he's gonna try it. Stug-E just rolled onto the field, making his way to the front line now, as long as he can keep it safe from PTRSs. Should be okay. MG42 will suppress this blob of infantry trying to make a push. Sniper was not able to snipe the gunner in time, just sniping the support guys. Rifle grenade's gonna shut this push down. Everything's making a full retreat. Jesulin's still feeling very contained. And he's actually going to go tier 3. Look at this decision. Interesting. He's got the fuel for 1 T-34, which will, of course, hard counter this Stug. Probably the right call, honestly, but it means he will not be able to get an ISU this game. He's going to have to try and win the game with just a T-34. That's going to take some very careful micro.
Guard squad ready.
Couple squads reinforcing and healing in the base. Jesulin needs to think carefully about how he wants to proceed here. He can't really afford to keep getting forced off the map. Losing total control of the battlefield.
Yes?
I mean, Sib's army is not really that big. A lot of manpower has been spent on reinforcement. Again, dead even. Really just dead even. So it's not that Jesulin's not engaging cost effectively, it's just that he's not taking ground. Gonna spread himself out a little. Wounded squad of cons is gonna get screened away by grenadiers in green cover. That push isn't gonna work. Gonna need to dedicate a little more than that. Stug is making its way over here to the left side. We'll catch these guards alone. Already gets 2 kills. They're gonna retreat on sight. Probably the right call. Sniper moves up into green cover. Another frontal assault here is probably not going to go that well, but at the same time he needs this fuel point. He can't just ignore his own fuel point. You can't really afford to do that, so although it's forcing retreats, he's just going to try and keep bleeding his opponent's manpower, trying to secure his own fuel, and his T-34 is rolling onto the field. Maybe he can make something happen against this Stug with that. If so, maybe he can secure himself a little bit more of a manpower lead, try and bounce back into this game. Tellermine going down. Does not get planted in time. Guards might lose this. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to come down to RNG. PTRS shots are connecting nicely. 3 in a row. Files will retreat. Guards should probably recover their PTRS. Just left it on the ground. T-34 working the right flank. Grenadiers available over here. We don't have any anti-tank from Sib at all, by the way. None. Very vulnerable. to that T-34. Pretty decent chance of that Grenadier squad getting chased and killed on retreat, but he's not going to do it. He doesn't want to hit a teller mine, so that's pretty understandable. The Stug has moved up to put pressure on infantry here. Teller mine is available right there. And he saw it getting planted. He will destroy it with his T-34. He does not have a minesweeper currently. His only combat engineer squad is currently equipped with a flamethrower. Takes a Panzerfaust right there. Has to pull back a little bit. Since there's a T-34 on the field and Sib fielded a Shugi, and he doesn't want to wait till 11 command points to have an effective tool with which to combat this thing. He's gone tier 3 himself and fielded himself a Panzer IV, try and level the playing field a little bit here. Wow. He has a pretty significant advantage with that assault gun, though. Of course, Jesulin plans on getting an assault gun of his own later in the game. I think, or the game's over. Wow, does Jesulin really just surrender? Jesulin surrenders, I think. Okay. GG. Too much manpower bleed, I guess. Didn't think he was going to be able to come back from this situation. I think he still had a little wriggle room to try and make a comeback. But I guess he didn't think so. I don't know. All right. Good game. Short break, and we will jump into game 2 and pay attention to those victory points. Sib lost only 12, 488. So that is the number for Jesulin to beat when he's playing Axis if he wins the next game to try and get faction selection.
All right, here's the thing. Listen up, fellas.
Okay. Here we go.
Steady up, fellas. I got orders coming.